Okay, I think I can tell the story now of what happened to my computer, the one I've been telling you guys that I was working on. It's been fixed for the past few weeks after trying twice. The first time, I did not realize what was wrong, and it was not as bad as the second time. The first time the computer basically went down is around mid-September. So I thought something happened to my C drive where the operating system resides, because it's on SSD, and I know SSD's lifespan is not that long, and I have been using the machine every day. I stream with it, I edit videos with it, so there's a lot of read and write that goes under the C drive. And according to data, they don't last forever. No, at least not, the lifespan of one of those SSDs is not as long, or it's not the same as a mechanical hard drive. Having that in mind, I decided to restore the operating system, because what happened is when it went down, I got a blue screen. I'm like, okay. I started looking and I restored the operating system, and it started working again, but I did not want to go online with it and have it going and have it go down again in the middle of one of my live streams. So I kept it for a week or so to figure out what was wrong. So I was playing with it, and it started working fine again. And one Saturday, maybe a couple of weeks after I fixed it the first time, there was some kind of spike, electrical spike. But the machine really did not reboot. It simply, I saw another blue screen. And at that time, I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. So I thought I was gonna be able to do the same, because like I said, at first, I suspected it was the SSD, but since I reloaded the operating system, I didn't reinstall it. They have an option where you can recover. So, I went and restored the operating system, but keep my data. The second time, the machine would keep crashing every time I tried to restore the operating system. And that's when I started thinking, it's not the SSD. It seems like it's one of my DEMs. It's a RAM, basically, internal memory, that went down. Basically, the circuitry went bad. That's my theory. What happened was part of the circuitry was going bad, but it didn't completely go bad, because it was still making, or there was still connectivity. So the first time I was able to restore the operating system, and it worked for a couple of weeks. But the second time, it seems like whatever spike we had here took out that RAM module. That's what they call a DEM. This is the module that is bad. This is the module that went bad. When I purchased the machine originally, it had two modules. It came with two modules. Of course, they come in pairs. These are the two modules. This one went bad in any event, but I didn't know. So when I tried to reinstall the operating system, and I was looking at what the error screen, I will post it. This is the screen I was getting. When I realized that, and every time the machine went down, I saw a different address, and also different programs that the operating system was trying to load, because the way the operating system works is it brings in programs, executables, from the hard drive into local memory, and it executes them. That's where it runs them. And I was seeing the name of different programs and different addresses. I'm like, okay, this is a RAM issue. So what I did was I started looking online to see if I could find an application that could do memory test, and I got lucky. I stumbled on an application they call memtest86 because I did not feel like writing on a program and assembly to test every memory location, because what you have to do when you have bad RAMs, you write to them, or you write to a range of address, and you read it back to see if it has what you wrote into it. This is a little more complicated than that, but that's the idea. So MEM86, that's what it does. And again, this is the result the first time I ran it. If you see the red areas, those are bad locations, and there was a bunch of them. This is one of the screenshots that I took. So once I realized that, I went out and bought two new ones. The access time, the amount of time it takes to grab the information, or when you store information into it and then grab it back. It writes faster, it reads faster. That's the easiest way to put it. So once I purchased the two new modules, I put them in there because remember I told you I could not reinstall the operating system. No matter what I did, I could not restore, I could not install. So once I replaced the RAM module, I tried to reinstall the operating system. I made a mistake. Initially the second time after the machine went down, I got frustrated because that's the machine I wanted to use. I have two machines. I have a backup and that one. I have a couple of others, but those are the two machines that I prefer to use to stream from. So initially, when I didn't realize yet what was going on. I wanted to eliminate that it was not. I wanted to make sure it was not the SSD that was bad. So I deleted the operating system. I reformat the C drive. That was not a problem. It was me. It's not me. There is a program to recreate the partitions. I use MBR. So, and after I did that, I tried to install the operating system. I was getting different errors. And that's when I realized the new Windows 11, it's Windows 10, but for some reason it would not allow me to install. I had to reformat using a new way of partitioning the SSD. So I had to use GPT. I had to use the new technique called GPT. What happens is it can handle much larger SSDs or hard disk that I did not know. I would have to use GPT to create new partitions in order for me to be able to reinstall Windows. But I overcame that pretty easily once I got the error number. What happened is once you get an error, you can Google it or go to the Microsoft website. You will know. It will tell you what the error means. And once I realized that, I reformatted the drive, reallocated all the partitions, and I was able to reinstall the operating system, and things worked perfectly. So the problem was not my SSD because it's 5 years old. I've been using it a lot every day. It was my RAM, one of the DIMMs. This one basically went down. It burned out, the circuitry probably. It was going bad already, and that spike took it out. I am glad it didn't cause much more damage, but that's what happened to the machine. This is the screen. This is the error I got that told me I had to use GPT to create the new partitions for the drive. But basically, that's what happened to my computer. It was one of the memory modules that the circuitry failed. You have to replace them in pair because sometimes if you buy new DIMMs or new memory sticks, if you buy new ones, they come in pairs anyway. They can be faster than what you had before. So it's good. It's not that, it's better to use them in pair with the same speed, access time. So once I did that, everything worked like no problem. And while I was at it a number of months ago, I purchased an SSD. It was 2 terabytes. It was on sale. I got it maybe 6 months ago, and I never really had the time, it may be longer, to install it. So I took advantage. Now I have an extra 2 terabytes of space to store my videos. So the machine is running now, and next week I'm going to start using it again to stream. But I'm keeping an eye on the D drive, because that's the one that gets a lot of exercise. But you know, it is small. It is only 256 gig SSD. Once it dies, I don't store any of my data in it. So, but I am keeping an eye on that. It may go next according to what I hear. They don't last as long as mechanical hard drive. So I wanted to share that with all of you. I got it going. It took me a couple of days, but I got it, because I remember I was complaining to you guys. Well, not complaining. I remember I was telling you that I was working on it. So it's all fixed now. Thank you for listening. I will see you soon. Bye.